All right, I guess I'm live. Welcome. Thursday, are we? No, huh? Thursday morning. August. August 1st. August already. I still remember the new year. It seems like an entire world, an entire decade has passed between me and Chris sitting on the stream in January talking about AI and all the trends of the future to now. And it's only been 7 months. Wow, 2024 happened really fast. This is just open panel. That's mostly what I've been doing lately. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, I like the conversation that's been happening lately. So I'm kind of just looking to keep to that. So if you want to come up, come up. Otherwise, let's check the news and all that other stuff. The brutal ordeal is, a Russia prisoner swap. Oh, okay. Israel confirms it killed the Hamas commander. That's mainly the news as I see it. Kamala even dropped off. Kamala and Trump. So there. And then Twitter. Anything. Oh, this was interesting. This guy says the entire idea of deplatforming, like when people go to speak and they try to, this college kids try to stop them. The entire idea of deplatforming is a bastardization of tactics responding to a specific problem. Fascists would call for debate and then use the gathering of their opponents as an opportunity to physically target them or their supporters. Deplatforming was to prevent that. I didn't know that. And now they just use it to shut down speech. But it was originally used to prevent physical harm. Of course, isn't everything harm now? Like the line between physical, emotional, psychological harm, is that all blurred now? Is a word the same as a fist, a punch to the face? I've been punched in the nose several times. He got me like 6 or 7 times. It felt nothing like any kind of word I've ever, nothing. It didn't feel anything like a microaggression. Like physical violence is completely different from other types of violence, at least to me. And maybe they just didn't grow up with any violence at all, and so everything, they don't have a standard of actual violence to reference it to. I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Then there's this little video that's interesting. Why don't we take a look at this?
They're trying to erase Black history. We're going to write Black history because it's American history. It's American history. Together we make history, not erase it. To me, the values of diversity, equality, inclusion are literally, and that's not kidding, the core strengths of America. That's why I'm proud to have the most diverse administration in history. It taps into the full talents of our country and starts at the top with the vice president.
Interesting. I wonder if he knows it's EDI now. That was from the past. There's so many things that struck me in that video. He said that the diversity, he's proud to have the most diverse. He's got to be talking about superficial diversity, right? And let me go back and see what he says. Hang on. Twitter does not make it easy to replay a video for some reason. Here, you know what? I'm just gonna watch it again, and I'm gonna do my react. Come on, Biden.
They're trying to erase black history.
Okay, why do people think that? Hey, Bext, what's up? Why do people think that? Is it non-black people, like white people who are Asians or Jewish people? Why? Who? There's a group that doesn't want other people to know black history. That is crazy to me. Nobody's trying to keep people from learning about history. There's so much information out there. People couldn't suppress that if they tried. Where does that idea come from? Even in Louisiana, rural Louisiana, Trump country, overwhelmingly Trump country. They changed the districts, but before they changed it, Mike Lee. Oh, we're in Mike Lee's district now. We weren't growing up, but now we're in Mike Lee's district. So even in that part of the country, they taught us black history. We went to school with black people. We all sat in the classrooms and learned the same history, and black people were included. We learned about slavery. We learned about Jim Crow, all that stuff. We were one of the first generations of desegregation. And I don't know if we were fully conscious of the fact. Like I said before, it seems like things that I took for granted just kind of always were. But we were aware of segregation because some of it, like Plessy versus Ferguson, and some of the school integrations that they happened in New Orleans and Louisiana. So Louisiana was tied into some of the black history. So not only did we get it in U.S. history, we got it in Louisiana history, which was a whole separate year. White, there is no. Oh, yeah. So that's just that's a narrative. That's some kind of distorted brain poison that got in their head, and I don't know where that came from. That's one of the first things that started putting me off of the left because I was diehard. It never crossed my mind ever to vote Republican for anything or even take them seriously. I was so diehard Democrat, classical liberal. Even up to 20, I voted for Biden in 2020. I did not want another 4 years of Trump, and I voted for Biden. I didn't know about the DEI stuff. I honestly did. Um, I thought he would be a nice, stable, refreshing break from the chaos, and that's all I wanted at that point. It was when George Floyd, and then around the same time, Robert DiAngelo's White Fragility book came out, and Ibram X. Kendi was making his way up the charts, and the groups I was in, the communities, the online, like it was like Zoom communities, Discord, mostly Zoom, I guess. So it was like these kind of communities, but they were closed. They weren't live. Everybody and all the white people in them, and some of them were Canadian, started freaking out about everybody was racist and they were racist and they had all this racism in them and they had to do the work to get the racism just out of the like one day we were having completely normal conversations about philosophy, art, uh not even really politics because this was probably like the first few months of COVID, so we were talking about COVID stuff. Anyway, just normal conversations that intelligent people have when they get together. And then like all of a sudden out of the blue, it's did you hear about this racism? Did you hear about how awful white people are? Um, oh my God, I have all these struggles in me that I have to do. We have to center black voices. It was taught like just it changed that quickly. And it was like a record scratch. I thought that was so weird. I didn't think any of us thought that we were racist. It would never have crossed my mind that any of these people were racist. I certainly didn't think they could be persuaded or convince themselves that they were racist. Just it was so weird. It came out of nowhere. It was literally like a mind virus. And then the George Floyd thing started to escalate, and the Seattle riots happened outside my window, and I happened to be watching the Evergreen protest all at the same time. No, I've read clips of it. My impression of her, I'm taking her on good faith that she honestly believes this. She sounds like a very neurotic, hysterical, overly sheltered white lady, an awful AWFL, a fluent white female liberal. Um, that probably really it. Like when she was describing a book, I felt like I was reading the account of a mental patient. I'm like, oh my God, this lady, if this is the world she lives in and this is what she thinks is going on, she seriously needs help. But I believe that she actually believes that about herself, about black people, about white people. She just has a very this is what happens when you stay so out of touch from the group you're writing about or criticizing that you just replace it with this imaginative fantasy. It's like before you visit a foreign country, you imagine what it might be like, and then you go to it and you come back and you can correct your imagination with reality. Hers is like a very fanciful, extreme version of somebody that has never been to that country before. And so it gets replaced in her mind by whatever this crazy narrative is about how oppressive she is and what victims black people are and how fragile they are and how much white people need to take care of them, but then also how fragile white people are. Um, that happened on Big Brother last night with the Karen. And I don't like the Karen. I'm rooting for them to get her out of the house. She's going to be trouble the more they keep her around. But she made a comment, a game comment about a group of players that happened to all be black or brown. And it came out that she made this comment, and one of them tried to play the race card on her. And they said something like, "Are you aware of how it looks if you say to a group of people that are all brown, something something something?" And the minute that girl said that, I'm like, that is not fair. That lady did not have race on her mind a single time when she made her comment. And this is something I don't even like. But I definitely don't think she was a racist. Like I didn't detect any hint of race in the context she was making the comment. And they were trying to make it about them all being the same color. From what I understand, and it made me more sympathetic to the Karen after that. What I understand is that it mostly came out of academia, more or less starting in the late 80s. There were the undercurrents in certain universities here and there, but the concept of intersectionality mingled with some other concepts, and that's about the time, like late 80s, early 90s, those people started graduating and taking positions teaching in academia, in corporations, in government. So they started getting in at the top. And I don't think it was coordinated or calculated. I don't think it was a conspiracy. I do think it was an organic academic trend that for some reason these supposedly really intelligent, smart people bought into and didn't critically filter out. They even did I don't know if you know about the grievance hoaxes with Helen Pluckrose, James Lindsay, Peter Boghossian, where they wrote a bunch of fake academic papers, like hypothesizing all this crazy stuff. And they would send it into these academic journals and they would peer review it and they would pass it and they would say, yes, this looks like sound academic writing. So all kind of stuff was just getting rubber stamped in the academies. And it wasn't getting critically filtered out by the peer review process because they were in an echo chamber. They were all believing the same things. So they didn't have the ability to critique each other like with any kind of intellectual distance. Hey, discussion. Salon, welcome. Just oh, we're watching this Biden video. Actually, let me get back to it. Sorry. So yeah, this idea that people are trying to erase Black history is crazy to me. Who? Where? What? Someone talk to me about this.
We're going to write Black history because it's American history.
Yeah, everybody knows that. Schoolhouse
It's
Rock had
American
Black
history.
people.
Together we make history, not erase it. To me, the values of diversity, equality, inclusion are literally, and that's not kidding, the
That's interesting how he said equality and not equity.
core strength of America. That's
Right.
why I'm proud to have the most diverse administration in history.
That.
It taps into the full talents of our country.
That. The full talents. He can only mean superficial diversity, right? That cabinet wise, they can only go on metrics they can observe and identify and tabulate. And so, like, more percentage of women and brown people and disabled people, etc. That's what he means by diversity. And then he ties that to talent. Start like, let me see what he says again. Into the full, this part really caught my ear.
Of America. That's why I'm proud to have the most diverse administration in history. It taps into the full talents of our country.
The full talents of our country. Like, along with the skin color diversity, you're getting this extra talent now that you didn't have before. So it's tying things like ability and talent to superficial diversity. And the more superficially diverse, like the more flavors, the more different colors of M&M you have in the bowl, you get actually qualitatively different types of talent along with that. Something about that really, really bothers me.
It starts at the top with the vice president.
Starts at the top with the vice president. The DEI stuff starts at the top with the vice president. That's interesting. No, we didn't. Critical race theory wasn't even around when we were being taught Black history. So I don't know what it's not. Black history is Black history. It's not any particular theory. It's examining the events and the facts of the history of Black people and the role of Black people in history. Where, not lost, I would love to see. Well, yes, critical race theory absolutely needs to be removed. That's a political ideology. That has nothing to do with Black history. If you think they're the same thing, you are the one that's confused, my friend. Um, no, like Obama went to no, like I said, it started with the late 80s. That was Reagan was still in office when this started. And then we had Daddy Bush, and we had 2 years of Clinton and 2 years of W. Bush. So that's a whole bunch of presidents before we get to Obama that this stuff was spreading under. You think Obama went to the academies himself and said, "Hey guys, get a jump on this. We need to roll this out faster." I let me be clear about my position. I don't think it was intentionally created to undermine, distract, and subvert. I think it was an organic process, part of intellectual history. And some people may have taken the opportunity to exploit it to try to subvert the United States, but I don't think it was created specifically by people and then propagated for that purpose. I think the people that believe this really believe it for the most part. I think this is a new myth of concern that has captured a lot of people, a new mythos. The blackwashing of history. Yeah, really, what is black and what is white anyway? Just because a person has black skin, you don't know that they were part of American history. And just because someone has white skin, you don't know that they're white. They're part of white culture or white Anglo-Saxon Protestant history. It's just so binary and shallow. Yeah, there is that, and I actually have experience with some DEI hires, and it honestly is a problem when they don't hire the best person and they hire someone for some other reason, and it shows a lot of times in their talent, their ability. Um, they leave the impression that this really have honestly been the best person they had to pick from. But at the same time, I never assume. I don't even pay attention to skin color really, but I never assume because somebody's a female or a certain skin color that they're a DEI hire. Like each interaction with a person to me is a blank state, and I start with that interaction and I evaluate from there. I don't that's what we were taught in my generation. It was called stereotypes and prejudice, not to bring your associations with previous people in that group or demographic to new encounters with people, new people from that group. And so I always tried to approach plus there was individualism where you see someone, the individual is greater than the group. So you focus on the person as an individual, not as a member of a group. That's less significant than who they are as a person. So I've always homed in on the individual first of all. So all that other stuff falls to the side. And second of all, I've never I've tried to purposely go out of my way to not bring my past experiences with black people to an interaction with a new black person because that seems unfair, partly because you want to let their individuality shine through and get to know their character. So it's like that stuff reverses all of that. And suddenly the color of your skin becomes the most important thing about you, and the individual parts of you less so. CRT is a part of critical, right? Yeah. It's it started It started in the right place. It started in academia as a theory. What should have happened is the theory should have got filtered out and debunked with better theories, and it didn't. Because I think there was a slight shift in academia at some point from truth to justice or truth to power, where especially with the social sciences or the even the psychological sciences, the temptation became more to change and improve society than necessarily to fully understand the reality of things as they were. And so it was like a chance to prioritize power over truth, justice over truth. And again, it comes at the root of this to me is that oppressed oppressor narrative, that binary manichaeistic way of thinking. The Christians have it too with the spiritual warfare and the team good and team evil are fighting this cosmic war, and the woke kind of have their material secular version of it, like the Watchmen. It's the final battle between the evil racist and everybody else, the morally righteous, the anointed. Um, I'm sorry, I don't even remember. Oh, the freak. Never mind. Okay. DNC Cuomo speech. Let me look that one up. I was around in '84, but that was when I wasn't paying attention to politics. And Reagan had already had 4 years, and my life was relatively stable. And my parents voted anyway, and not the kids. And so I didn't really. I filtered out politics. That's not something a kid had to worry about. But let me look it up. Oh, I think didn't we play it the other day? Yeah, we did. But we will play it again. The Tale of Two Cities. All right, we'll take a look at it in a minute. Frank, it's just me. How much of a shit show can it be with just me? A sad, lonely, half retarded, not even, I wouldn't even say mildly gay, like, except for my porn time. Um, the most gay my life is, y'all see on this panel. Like, it doesn't get gayer than what you see on the panel. Um, be careful, freak, because sometimes not lies could pull you into a crazy loop. A crazy fool could keep men in bondage. Yes, I agree 100%. And outside of the bedroom or certain kink relationships, I don't know anybody that believes this. Even the race, I don't even think the racist want to actually enslave other people and have them in bondage. Like this is a kind of a Bronze Age value that most of the civilized world, Western and Eastern, has moved on from. Yes, it does exist still in parts of the world, but do you think there's people here in the United States in enough numbers to have that suddenly be a reality at any moment? Is that a realistic fear? I can't believe people think this. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, we'll watch it again. Critical race theory is thinking that people want to enslave other people, that they belong in bondage because their skin color makes them better. Like, go back to that spectrum is so blurred by now, especially in the age of 23andMe. This black white binary doesn't work anymore. It's breaking down, just like gender's breaking down. All the binaries are breaking down. The center is collapsing. And nobody's going to even be able to know who's white or black anymore soon. So I think if you think it's a trend that's accelerating, you're wrong. I don't even think it's possible to accelerate much more. I think you've had peak racism. We've passed it. We've passed it. We're done. There's no more Civil War. There's no more Jim Crow. It's not a realistic fear. Well, there's the illegal kind. But certainly there's not people, there's criminal slavery, let's call it that. But there's certainly not law-abiding people advocating to have humans in bondage. Not laws. Are you able to separate the past from the present, or is it all one cyclical event to you that just perpetually keeps happening? So if it happened once, then it's always happening. There's always an impending Holocaust. There's always Nazis. There's always a civil war waiting to be fought. There's always the temptation to go back to the plantation lifestyle, plantation temptation. That's what critical race. Okay, but why are they wasting their time analyzing white superiority where when nobody thinks that? Like how the amount of white supremacists in the US, what percent do you put that number at? Somebody the other day said 4%. Like they don't think it's lower than 4%. That's a lot of people. I think that's a lot of watchmen. A lot of like I don't know how many times they might have run through the series, but it seems like fantasy brain being confused with reality brain, reality life. Hey, Browns boy. Right, but it seems implicit in that understanding, not love, seems to be that if it happened, we have to be concerned that it could happen again at any second. It like part of learning from history is what to realistically relegate to the past and what to base their expectations of the future on. That's kind of how we get progress, if there is such a thing. We don't get it by constantly anticipating the same exact events, because that keeps us on a horizontal plane. There's no verticality to it, no growth. A CT stream. Chaotic Truth, he came on our stream one day, and I invited him back anytime he wants to come on. Yeah, but you think most black people are Chaotic Truth? Like you think that's how most black people think? Welcome, Lanza.
Thank you, man. How are you doing today?
Um, I'm okay in most areas and confused in others. How are you?
Uh, Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Got some work to do, but
Like real work, like job work?
yeah, for sure,
That's good. That I think that's good to have.
for sure. One of
I
them is
want to
go ahead.
do what? What you say?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Is what
I just wanted to finish going after Not Law's ass. He says that's how I'm told to interpret how I think. It's stigma. So you know why I interpret things and who told me to do it. You, that's what you're telling me. My own mind. I already can't take you seriously.
Oh,
And
I forgot.
and besides, Lanza's here, so now I have somebody to have an
No,
actual conversation
I could
with.
like I could try to explain. I mean, because
You
there isn't.
understand him?
I mean, there isn't. Like, I'm not trying to find division, but like, let's take a look at it. Like, not at division, but like, what was being said exactly? Like, can you explain? Forget outlaw. Explain what you want to explain about what you see or whatever.
Well, he's telling me that
No, no,
my
forget it.
position.
Okay, but you can forget about outlaw though. I personally also want to forget about outlaw when I'm speaking to you
Oh,
because
outlaw.
otherwise I'll get distracted.
Well, that's what the whole thing is my response to him telling me why I hold the position I hold. He has no way of knowing that. He's
So,
speaking with
okay,
authority about what's in my own mind, like he knows.
can you just tell me what your view is without telling me how he sees problems with it? You know, just whatever the view is. I don't really care what he says right now. You know what I mean?
Well, it was about history and people
History,
thinking that because the Civil War happened,
Civil
or
War.
Jim Crow, or the Holocaust, that it could
Okay,
happen again at any second. Like the thing you're supposed to learn from history is that
okay,
this could always happen. And so you have to
okay,
make these very negative assumptions about people in order
okay.
to keep it from happening. Like we're one level away
Well,
from global crisis. And that's not the lesson that I take from history. I take the lesson that we transcend those events each time, where we have the potential to. Of course, World War II itself kind of exploded all that.
okay.
So that's my position. And then he's telling me why I have that position because I was taught to have it somewhere.
You were taught to have a position that says what again?
Oh, it goes even further. I'm literally brainwashed. Like somebody hooked me up to a machine and programmed me to think this.
Who's okay?
And then I direct it at people who are divergent. I do.
Who is saying? Who is
You
this?
sound crazy right now, not outlaw.
No, I think he just thinks he's like riling you up.
I don't know what he's saying, that conservatives have brainwashed me and programmed me to go out and
You know what?
direct stuff at neurodivergent people.
How how about
This is one of the
actually? You know
strangest
what?
things
I
I've
don't know.
ever been accused of.
I'll just see what happens. But I just wanted, for the record, to understand what you thought, Jeff. Regardless of whatever this other person's idea.
I
No,
don't think that we are in
I don't have
danger
an
of another
opposition.
civil war. I
I
don't
don't have
take
an
that
opposition.
seriously.
You go ahead.
Not over
Well,
race, anyway. I don't think we're going back to the North and the South fighting over race.
so we're talking about race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in this case, I am. That's just one example. It could be Jewish people. It could be women.
Well,
There's people that
what is
actually
it?
think they're worried that the vote could get rolled back to where women lose the ability to vote. I don't think that's a realistic scenario.
Well, why are they worried about that?
I don't know. I do not know. I would love to know. If you're any of those people, come up and help me understand.
Well, how about let's put it on us. What if why would we why would you and I be worried that we couldn't vote?
I'm not. I think discussion hit it here. It's the difference between possibility and probability. I try to worry about what's probable, and in their minds, I think that they think this is probable, and I don't,
It's probable. Why? Because it was in the future. I mean,
because it
I'm sorry.
was at one time.
Okay, it was in the past, and then okay, yeah. I mean, like when 1920s is when women got the right to vote.
Um, when did they get the right to vote?
1920s is
Right.
my
There are people that think that we're actually going to, other than like prisoners, certain prison
1920.
situations. we haven't taken the vote from any group that we've given it to, as far
It's
as I
only
know.
been 100 years.
Why would they think we would take the vote back from somebody or take gay marriage back? Not lies. This is how I know you're lying or very confused.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I've
right.
done entire streams where I give my own person. I take some DEI material and I go through it and I break it down and I give my own personal opinions and reactions every time. It's not talking points. It's my own opinions on it.
All for things like trans panic. And it goes, is he talking to
I don't
you?
even know what trans panic is. I don't have a problem with
Is
trans
he
people
talking
or
to you?
immigrants. I don't even know anymore. I'm gonna leave him alone.
What is
Um,
it?
I consider myself red pill animated, in the sense of the red pill documentary, and um,
That's a label.
they're pushing what specifically to roll the vote back. I have seen it in some fringe parts of the internet. Like sometimes I hear people on the Crucible say that, but nobody that anybody's going to take seriously. All right,
Okay.
we have Mr. Paul joining the discussion.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome.
Hey,
Thank you.
Paul.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Well, we just had a big thunderstorm over here, so we're just feeling the effects from it.
It
Oh,
sounds good.
Oh, definitely clear up the air a bit. You just joined my forte. I am actually studying history, so
Let's go.
history is my thing.
Please tell us.
do you
Yeah.
can you tell us where civil rights are currently being eroded, as this person thinks?
Civil rights are not being eroded. Lots of people think so, but they're not, because as we grow as a people, we change as a people too.
Okay.
I don't think they believe that. I think they think their party changes and grows and progresses, but everybody else stays
Wait.
in the.
Can I clear one thing up?
Mhm.
Paul, do you have dual citizenship?
I do not. I am from, well, sort of, if you're going to do it right. My parents are Scottish. I was born in England. So I can have like Scottish and English. If Scotland broke away, I could have dual nationality.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, like, if you had studied kind of like whatever, like laws, or if this was, because of, if I'm not wrong, we were talking about the U.S., but we could
Well,
broaden it
can't talk about the US
from
because
your
the US,
position.
yeah, the US takes from the English Magna Carta and the English Bill of Rights of 1666.
Okay, sounds like a great number.
Yes. Yeah, so lots of
I love it.
Wait. Wasn't that called like the papacy or something?
No, the papacy is to do with the Catholic Church.
Okay.
It's been entirely Protestant since Henry VIII.
Okay, I'm sorry. I may have questions, and you can disregard them. I won't feel bad.
Yeah. So how the England's been like a Protestant government since Henry VIII there, because he wanted to get married to somebody else and he wanted to divorce his wife, and the Catholic Church said no, you can't divorce her. So he created an entire religion called the Church of England to take over the state.
Okay, that sounds
He
pretty.
said, "I'm the king. I could do what I want."
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, how dare they tell me what to do in my country? I'll do whatever I want. I'm divorcing you. I'm making my own religion.
What about in your area? Have you heard of any of those underground Mithray temples?
In my area, in where I'm from, and no, we don't have any of that.
I only say your area. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I guess that's the American way. Is I just figured you were from London, but
I am close to London.
Because I saw how London has a like it's a temple to Mithray, or like Sophia or something, but it's like completely preserved, like underground, but it's in London, and I hear that they connect even all the way to Italy, and like there's all.
No, that's conspiracy theories.
No, but what if, dude? Is it conspiracy theory that my phone showed me the article?
Yeah, that's people writing. There's no tunnels connecting.
And there was like photos of it.
Tunnel the connecting from Britain to Europe is the Channel Tunnel.
Well, I'm just okay. Forget all that other stuff. That's all for not. What about the one under London that my phone told me about?
And what one in London would that be?
How do you know you could trust your phone?
Whereabouts in London would it be?
District. You just have to look up Myth-Ray Temple, London, underground London.
Okay.
I thought that the device is what was programming us with the false reality. So why would you trust your phone?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I want to hear more about history. My bad.
The only thing I've got coming up is the Temple Underground Station.
And Paul, he gave examples like the Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act and stuff as eroding civil rights. But I think we're talking about a different type of civil rights, like certain minority groups' civil rights. Those are like civil rights for all citizens.
But he could be making the point that that's them silently telling us all that we all are the minority through the policy.
Right. Yeah, something like that. I think it switches the category of what civil rights we're talking about. And I don't think it's the same category of civil rights.
Yeah. Like, what kind of civil rights does London have, bro? Like, I heard you guys are locked. Like, you guys are, I don't know, not, like, what is freedom or whatever?
I'll be free to, there's always freedom to say what you want to say. But there's consequences in what to say. If you go up somebody and be as racist as you want to be, you've got the freedom to do that. But you also got to face the consequences of that action.
Nobody's racist yet, so I'm. What's the connection about racism and what?
No, I'm just saying there's always freedom to say what you want, but there's consequences to say something. Say you can. I'm just using this as an example. You can be as racist as you want to a person here, but you've got to face the consequences of that action.
Okay. Which are dependent upon a ton of other variables.
Yeah, but it's a dependence on the laws and legislations.
Not of what? Of right here where we're at? It depends really on what the host wants.
Well, yeah, you're asking me from what's in London. So I'm giving you an example from what's in England.
But don't y'all have where, like, if you say a mean tweet on Twitter, the cops can come to your house? I've seen videos.
Yeah, there's people that that's all sensationalized. I mean, you can write stuff, and you know, but again,
people can call the cops about it too.
Yeah, people can call cops, but there's all again.
I don't know if in America, if you called the cops and said someone just tweeted something and I'm offended, if the cops would come out and do anything.
Yeah, they don't do that, which is maybe why he may try to segue into saying why that should happen in our country that he doesn't inhabit. But I'm not trying to.
Oh, I'm not going to say that at all. I've never said that.
Thank God.
Don't try to put words in my mouth in that.
No, I didn't. I was trying to predict the future. It's completely different.
Yeah, I mean, every country's got their own thing, but that's, you know, using examples of that is only very few and far between. You know, the people will sensationalize that, but that just happens on a very, very, very rare occasion.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's good to hear.
You know, usually Facebook now is so governed, and they've got bots out looking for any words. I got banned from Facebook because I put a picture that was in the media from the 1980s, and it was a football player squeezing another football player in an intimate area, and this is only recently, and they called that sexual exploitation, but it was in the media.
Yes, it is sexual exploitation.
What, so that's just crazy. Like going back and reclassifying perfectly ordinary things.
I'm saying this as devil's advocate in good faith. Like, I think that is sexual advertisement because for the reasons of the NFL. Was it what kind of football?
I'm talking about my football, mate. The real
Okay.
football.
Okay. Now, listen, I'm operating out of the idea that major sports are rigged to a degree for the betting. Okay. And so, with that being said, I forgot what my point was.
It's not. You said it was sexual exploitation, but it wasn't. It was a famous. You've heard of Vinnie Jones?
Oh, because it's entertainment to a degree. Those players have to sign non-disclosure agreements.
Oh no, 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 no! It was nothing like that. So Vinnie Jones, who's an actor now, was a famous footballer over in England or Britain. And there's a picture of him playing a football match, and to get a person, this person was one of the world's best at football. He really was.
Hell yeah.
But to get a person off the pitch, he went up to him and, without the referee seeing, and squeezed his private area just to get him injured.
Like God, being God, like locker room stuff.
Yeah, sort of, to get him off the pitch. And there was a famous picture that they printed all through the 80s. It's just a really famous football picture of this guy screaming in pain and this big footballer just squeezing him. And I put this on my Facebook ages ago. This must have been about 4 or 5 years ago, and it got flagged as sexual exploitation.
It does sound pretty gay if he like sat there and squeezed his balls or whatever. Yeah.
Nothing to do about it. I wouldn't classify Vinnie Jones as gay. He just wanted to play her off the pitch because he couldn't handle him.
Yeah, for sure. I'll agree with that for now. Do you know American football?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
Do you? Do you know? Would you say that you know famous quarterbacks? You know, possibly.
I used to follow the US football in the 80s, and my favorite quarterback was Jim McMahon from the Chicago Bears.
Jeff. Hey Jeff, can you get a little bit? Can you get a little bit closer to the camera?
Yeah.
Paul, what quarterback does Jeff look like from the NFL?
I don't. There's no way I could look like any quarterback with this.
Look at him.
I would say he looks more like Larry Bird.
People used to tell me, "Oh God, Larry Bird, the basketball player, the hoe."
I'd say he looks more like Larry Bird there.
Bro,
I have been told Tony Hawk.
Bro, he looks like Peyton Manning, bro.
Come on now.
Will
y'all go tell the
I'll find
the guys on the apps that.
Hold on, let me see this.
Look up a photo of Peyton Manning, Jeff, and put it side by side next to your face.
Yeah, I can see the similarity there.
Oh God.
Yeah. Dude,
are you serious? Is he considered hot? Here, let me pull him up.
Jeff threw so many more touchdowns, bro.
Yeah.
Well, he's aging well. I guess that's a good thing. But is he considered hot? I don't know.
Get him one podcasting.
Would I talk to him in a bar? If I saw him in a bar?
Type in Peyton Manning podcasting, and you'll get a perfect photo.
Yeah, I would say there was a bit of similarity there. I can see it.
Wow. Okay. I don't know if that's good or bad, but
so Paul, are you like a eugenicist, or do you hold any of these like those crazy Zionist beliefs or whatever?
What do you mean Zionist beliefs and stuff?
What do I mean Zionist beliefs? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
Okay, look up Zionism, and then tell me, do you align with any of that?
Zionism. Do I align with Zionism? That's a discussion and a half, isn't it? Do you believe that Zionism, the creation of a Jewish state? Talking about history, the Jewish Israel. There's always been a kingdom of Israel in that area. There's also a kingdom of there was split in between the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judea.
What about anything that you said tells me that you line up with any of what Zionism is?
Well, there's different strains of Zionism too.
Yeah, I believe that people should be. Do I believe what's happening in the Middle East is right? No. Do I believe that people should not kill each other? 100%. Do I believe that Israel should be there? Yes, I do. But should they go killing people for it? No.
In a perfect world, you're 100% right. But I don't know.
But if you're talking about should Israel be there, yes, Israel should be there. It's part of their ancient homelands. It's part of where they came from.
And it's part of modern history too.
Yeah, and it's part of modern history too.
I mean, it's been a nation for
It's been a
decades,
nation
longer
since
than
1948.
yeah. That's like it's as old as my parents. As long as it's 2 generations now, it's been a nation.
But
At least
again, if you're going to use that, should the US be as a nation too? Because you forget the US came from the 13 colonies, and they came from Europe,
Yeah,
and they took over that land.
that's what they say. Yeah.
do y'all want us back, or are you happy that we took
Paul-
it
Paul-
No,
off
you
your
can keep
hands?
people like Trump. I'm fine. Keeping
Okay.
you can keep people like
Yeah,
Trump,
Paul-
there, mate.
Paul's right.
Y'all
though.
get the queen though. Y'all got the queen.
Yo,
No, he's passed.
Paul, did you guys and Jeff? Did you guys know that in Florida, on the West Coast, there's like 5 or 6. Honestly, who knows? Maybe more cities that claim that that's where Christopher Columbus landed. You know what I'm saying? For like advertisement for money.
No, I
Stuff
didn't know
like.
that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, Paul, what do you think about that? What do you think about like the colonization, like you were saying? Because I've personally seen some maps that kind of show like military kind of goes in first, and then
I
they,
don't. Military went in first. It was explorers who went in first. If you're going to talk about England, you've got to talk about or Britain. You've got to talk about Elizabethans, Tudors.
okay,
Then also you've got to go way back more into history. Go way back, and you'll find there's ancient Viking settlements in Canada.
Canada and the North, and even in Russia, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, migration spreads. Yeah, then you got if you're talking about Russia, you've got to talk about the Mongols. Yeah,
So like the years I'm actually most interested in are is basically the 1800 to like 1850. Those are my favorite. Like those are the most years that I have the most interest in. That I don't know the most about, but I understand. Prior to 1901, 1902, I understand that there was a build up to the
so
industrial age.
yeah, the height of imperialism. Yeah,
What is this?
the height of imperialism.
Now, imperialism implies like what?
Well, the imperialism there is is when you have countries that would be like them from France, from England, then changing to Britain,
Oh,
or Scotland, then changing to Britain, Italy, and that go moving out and creating colonies, but mostly in Africa and in Asia.
but imperial means that like slavery like not. I don't mean this perfectly. You may be able to translate better than what I mean. But like imperial, doesn't that mean like cream of the crop, like boule?
Imperialism is you're head of your country going into another one and saying this is our country now. It's colonization with the imperialism, saying you must follow us now.
Do you know anything about the group called the Odd Fellows?
Never heard of them.
Well, they're UK based. That's why I ask. But they were in the Americas in 13 or 1819, and they were the first to house women and children, like orphans and women, and they would actually kind of be responsible for like transporting them places. This was the Odd Fellows, around 1819 with UK base with the UK.
Yeah, I've been at them now actually.
Oh wow, Zach, cool. Zach's granddad was an odd fellow.
Yeah,
Come up and tell us about it.
It was founded in 1810, and it's classified as a insurance company.
The Wikipedia says it's an international fraternity consisting of lodges first documented in 1730 in London.
Yeah, I see that.
Library and Museum of Freemasonry. Are they related to the Masons?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, you find out most
Well, the site
things.
is dead.
they are. They are. You can even look up right now on Google. Type in Odd Fellow Lodges near me, and the funniest thing, if you look at the oldest maps, the odd in my area at least, the Odd Fellows kind of had the lock on the area first. It was crazy, bro. I did the research. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
wonder
but
if I could join.
there's also other different types of lodges too in
Yeah.
Britain. There's,
I thought about joining the Masons. They have one here, but you have
Yeah.
to believe in a supernatural being.
to join the Masons. I never knew that.
That's the one requirement. They do not accept atheists. You have
I
to.
joined a group that was it's called the Buffs.
The who?
The Buffs.
BUFF?
Yeah, that's their nickname. Hold on, let me get the thing. It's a long name.
Let me guess. It's just a drinking club.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's called the Royal
How I
Antelope.
call the future. Yeah.
It's called the Royal Antelope Order of Buffaloes. Antediluvian, yeah, Antediluvian Order of Buffaloes. There, basically, it was drinking, and you put, and it's also a charity organization.
You know, when you're drinking, do you know that
Yeah.
requires like a lot of swallowing?
I should hope so, because you're drinking it.
Yeah. So, do you like swallowing, or?
You're trying to turn me into a trap here, so
I am.
like drinking. I do like having a drink, so no need to be crude.
All right.
You could do it through a straw, and you could swallow less. Cuts down on the swallowing.
Paul, what do you like? What do you know, dude? What do you think? What do you think about like what's kind of stuff you wanted to come up here and talk about? I've taken up a lot of your time with random questions.
You're saying, what do you think? Because people think many different things.
Sure.
Let's be clear about what you want. What would you like me to talk about?
Well, what would if you came up to an open platform with a couple of people, and they said, "Hey, how you doing?" And you said, "Hey, I'm Paul." We said, "Hey," and then you'd be like, "Tell us about yourself," or say something that whatever. What's up? What's up?
Yeah, and I'll see what the conversation they're having and try to join in the conversation that they're having. But to say to a person, "What are you thinking?" There's many things I could be thinking about.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. In the back, we have somebody called HebrewHammer Slime Archive. Anybody know this person?
I don't know them, but that's a pretty interesting name.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they have to contribute. Hammer, can you flash in the back so I can see that you're a real person, and then kind of convince me you're not going to porn. But it's not working for some reason. I see you tried to flash, but it's not showing an image. Oh,
just keep trying.
Zat, it looks like Zat's vouching for you. So let me try this little overlay thing.
Who is Zat?
And I'll bring you on.
I don't know Zach. I don't vouch for Zach. Wait, maybe I do. A little bit.
This is not gonna work. Let me get to solo. Hang on.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Okay, are you safe? Like not gonna porn bomb?
No. A lot of people know me around the YouTube streets, so if I do, I'll be in trouble.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. I got porn bombed once.
Yeah, me too.
Never again.
Well, welcome. What's up?
No, you're good. A lot of people.
Do you have a channel?
It just got struck. Yeah, I do.
Okay. You go by HebrewHammer?
HebrewHammer operator.
Okay. I'll put you as that. Well, welcome. What's on your mind?
HHO. That's hydrogen, by the way.
I just went live for 9 hours last night.
Oh, wow. I did like 8.5 the other day.
Sorry, I was in my ears, so I couldn't hear. What's that?
Welcome, Zat.
I know this guy. I told you I know people around YouTube. They know me, so I'll get in trouble if I do anything stupid. I've been watching your lives. No, I've been watching your lives for about, I want to say like 2 weeks now. So I thought maybe I would come up and just say hi for once.
Well, hi. Welcome. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Do you or do you have anything particularly Israel related to contribute because your name is HebrewHammer?
I mean,
Yeah, are you our
you're in the
token
States,
Jew? I guess that's what I was asking. Or our token
so
Israeli.
I
We have Jewish people here. He's not a token, I don't think.
was gonna say, what about the red? What about the like the Red Roses War, like or the Roses War, or whatever the White Roses War?
Oh, you're talking, yeah.
Was that? I got a question about that I don't know. I could have Googled it, but I figured I'd ask you since you guys were
Okay.
speaking on that kind of stuff. Were there two or was it just one fighting against?
You
Like
broke up. You broke
There was
up.
two
There we go.
houses. It was a Lancastrians and against the Yorkshires.
York.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the Yorks were the Plantagenets and the Lancastrians were the Tudors.
Right.
And the Yorkshire lost with the death of Richard III.
Okay. Yeah, don't be
They-
worried because
They just recently found in a car park. They found him buried in a car park a couple of years ago.
Found who? Richard?
Richard III, yeah.
What? Are you
They
serious?
found him buried under a car park.
Yeah, it's crazy
Wow.
how the UK how it's like. I mean, it's like that here too in America. They just build on top and on top and on top and on top. Like it just.
So Richard III was hit by a car?
yeah. He was hit
They
by
must have his
cars.
dental records.
Yeah. No, but the UK if you go to London, there's a car park that's got a piece of Roman wall in it.
What? They built the car park around it, incorporated
Yeah.
it. Wow.
They do.
I want
They
to
do
see
that
if
kind
I
of
can
thing.
find
Yeah.
a picture.
And if you go to the Tower of London is back in the medieval times was a predominant fortress. But you go in there and you see it is actually pretty low from the modern streets.
How low?
Wow. Wait, yo, you
How
gotta see
low
this.
can you go? How
Yeah,
low can you go?
Look at this.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. So
This is Roman from
That's Roman. Yeah, that's a Roman wall.
fuck.
you
In the parking garage. Wow.
Huh? Yeah, is it like those tunnels and shit I was saying that were like intercontinental and even that national tunnels that people don't really want to talk about because they're afraid for no
Because
reason?
they don't exist.
Some tunnels in Britain. The one we got is the Channel Tunnel.
Is there like
They've
a little
tried-
side tunnel for pedestrians that he could be
No,
talking?
there's no little side into it.
Yeah, there is.
Oh,
You guys remember that video of those like that synagogue that the people looked like they were coming out of tunnels and stuff?
That was in New York. The Jewish people, the secret tunnels.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they were like
Okay.
trying to still use that building.
Let me ask you guys truthfully this question. Do you think that they would allow you to catch them in the tunnels that they're actually using?
How do they control that? If someone catches them, they catch them.
Use your brain.
I am.
I live in Oregon. They have a thing called the Shanghai tunnels in Portland, right? Do you guys know about them?
Mm-mm.
Like
I
they have
know
a
about
big
aqueducts and tunnels.
like listen to the name Portland, Oregon. It's a big port, right? Big boats come in, they go out. So they had an underground tunnel system in Portland, and what they did is they would take you into a bar. They would take you into a bar, and they would pat somebody on the back with like powder. So
patting them on the back with powder. What the hell?
To mark them, and then they would pull a trap door, and you'd fall down into these tunnels, and it was full of glass, right?
What did the powder have to do?
To mark them.
So everybody knew that he was a mark, that he was going to be a slave, like a slave, like to ship him out. And they would take these people from underneath the tunnels and put them on these boats and send them off. It was crazy. You guys in Portland is
you
crazy.
broke up again. Was it just random people, like citizens? And
Yeah.
tourists?
How do I find this information? This is cool as hell.
Well,
Look
they
up
would get
Shang-
drunk sailors, and they called it.
Hold on. How do I find it? How do I find it? How do I
Shanghai
look this up?
tunnels.
Yeah, Shanghai tunnels in Portland, Oregon.
Okay, thank you.
There's a whole underground city there. But yes, that's right though. They would like make them work on sailor ships and shit.
And these were the Americans doing this, the white people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I don't know about the whole white, but probably immigrants.
The town.
And this was underworld, right? This wasn't like sanctioned by the.
No.
No, yeah. This is just like.
So,
Dang,
if you want to talk about tunnels, the town where I was brought up, I wasn't born, I was brought up, is a military town. And there's been rumours of tunnels from the military. And one time, one of these rumours may be proved right because they were building they're building a new hospital or new medical facility, and they were building up some of the road, and they came across a Victorian tunnel, all tiled.
That's right.
Going from one piece to another place, and reportedly there was from one tunnel leading up to this. I'm going to call it a lodge, but really it was a wooden palace.
Right.
And because Queen Victoria didn't like the smell of food cooking, reportedly, she had this tunnel. They built a tunnel so they go and cook food in one place and transport it up to this palace.
Oh my God! I thought our Karens were bad. That's extreme.
Hey, Jeff. Like as we get more evidence of these tunnels, I'm just saying we're getting a little bit deeper. And
it's gonna all end under the Vatican, I know.
Or we're gonna get to the Naga, or we're gonna get to under where did the Mayans go? Like and why do these tunnels exist?
You think they're trapped in the tunnels?
Bro, these tunnels are made.
Free the Mayans.
Like you didn't like, or what did they use to dig these things to then brick these tunnels that they claim are part of military things around the 1500s usually, and then maps have even been obscured in certain libraries, but history is interesting.
If whatever you call that is, yes.
And Paul hasn't said. We've been talking about. All I'm saying is there's an article about the Mithray Temple under London.
I saw
I'm telling you, there's no intercontinental tunnels leading from Britain to
Never answered if he was a Zionist either.
There's nothing like that.
Am I coming?
The only clear tunnel is the train tunnel going from the to Paris.
Yes, to you. Everything that you just said is true to you. Correct.
No, everything.
I agree with you.
That is everything I said is the
like that?
Intercontinental tunnels dug by man from like earlier on.
Like Viking times, like you were talking about.
I'm talking about really any time apart from that train tunnel. There's a channel tunnel being built.
Oh, he doesn't want to talk about during the Viking time he knew about. All of a sudden, he doesn't know the tunnels were there.
The Viking times, where the people were mostly seaborn. It was a seaborn invasion.
I did a lot of studying on the UK because it's where my ex was from, southern UK. But
okay.
What was I going to say? Damn it, the Saxlo, however you say. I hate that word.
Saxons.
They were the Vikings. They loved the people so much they just stayed there. Hold on, let me switch to my fucking.
Not entirely, no, because there was wars. There was wars between the Vikings. You got to think of King Alfred and stuff like that. So there was wars between the Vikings and the Anglos, who were
the Saxons, the Jutes, the Danes.
Yep. Well, yeah, and you got to remember there was the invasion of the French from Normandy.
1066.
William. 1066, the Battle of Hastings, which didn't happen in Hastings.
Oh, yeah.
It happened right outside.
What's up with those
Tintern Abbey wasn't written at Tintern Abbey either.
Paul, what do you know about them catacombs that like also are underground tunnels?
Jesus.
In France, by the way, you're talking about.
Oh, you mean the Paris catacombs that has been lined up with skulls?
Did you do it? Was it you?
Yeah, that was me, mate. Yeah, I was born in that time.
Finest.
I'm Nosferatu. You know what I mean?
Who knows? How would I know?
Lanza, if you ever come to Seattle, they have a whole underground city up here.
I know, bro. Atlanta as well. Everywhere they do. Everywhere they
Do
do,
that
bro.
they've got that in Edinburgh. They call it the
Especially coastal states.
Yeah, they burn because they burned down and they just rebuild a new city on top.
So they got
Yeah.
that in Edinburgh too. They call it the underground city, but it's really like vaults, and it's supposed to be reputedly the most haunted places in the world.
Where?
Yeah, but like, why do you have such a small imagination?
What's that?
Because reality.
Why do you have such a small imagination? Like, you already have some cover-up story to some fact that I brought up.
What was the fact that there's a tunnel between England and France?
No, the one that he just said. That the tunnels are for whatever he said that they were for.
Well,
What?
All right, Jeff, you like Google Maps.
yes.
I have taken it upon myself I love topography maps, and I like to see, like I said, overlay the current Google versus the oldest maps. I like to see how the rivers change over time or whatever. What they look like now versus the oldest maps. And what some of the things that they talked about with the military installations, they're called, some people call them star forts, other people call them, there's like some other mainstream name for them.
It's actually the star forts. I think that's their star-shaped forts.
Yeah, but bro, like not only the craziness of star forts, bro. Jeff, if you looked up star forts, you'd be like, holy fucking shit, I never knew people ever even built shit like this ever. Now, not only that, Jeff, I've looked at the coasts and I've actually seen off Google Earth where they've actually erased them. I can see them actually erased, like with and a lot of them are like resorts areas. They're golf course resort areas. Go figure.
They're gorgeous.
Don't you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Look at
But like, I have found those that have been removed that I can look at Google Earth and tell that there was those types of angles in there, and only some of them got erased, and you can tell it was by like machines that quote unquote reappropriated the dirt of the area. But yeah, so like that, like if you're talking about that type of history, Paul, like if you know any of that, like just keep that in mind while you tell us about your history, because like yours is interesting too. But I wanted to bring that up because I thought that was something that had to do with the military installations around like late 14, early 1500s.
For a star fort, the Bastion Fort.
I think there's one in Louisiana.
It came from the early modern period of gunpowder.
Mind if I share your channel out, like in Discord?
Oh,
good.
Absolutely. We're trying to grow our numbers.
Okay.
We're trying to at least get to 500.
These forts were made because of gunpowder and cannon.
Here, I will put our Discord too in the back.
Where did Zach go?
I don't know.
Oh,
He dropped off.
Yeah, the
He's
official story. The official story of star forts is that they would use them as defense mechanisms, but for some reason would build them extremely eloquently with waterways also around them.
To traffic.
Waterways, yeah. I mean, that's basically a defense.
Look, I'm not going to have the debate on if it was a military installation or not, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, but that's called a moat.
Because
That's
there ain't a lot of bunch of people out here shooting cannonballs and skipping them off of the ocean to hit as a defense mechanism, buddy.
No, that's called a tactic that came from the ships. They used to use a cannon so to hit the ships.
Yeah, that's why I pre-called it out as something stupid to mention.
Okay, but waterways around forts, it's called a moat, and it's one of the basic forms of self-defense.
What kind of history do you like talking about?
I'm mostly like talking about military type history.
Military type history. Okay, well, did you know the worst tree to have in your backyard is the military? All right,
I don't know.
that's first off.
Yeah, I mean,
I've actually done thought into this, bro. Don't fuck with me. But,
StreamYard doesn't
that's
have a
pretty poor.
soundboard. But
Pretty poor. That's because actually the military it's at my back door. If they're talking about things, there's a big military town near where I'm from.
history. From what point of view do you like to look at military history?
Oh, well, you're talking about early modern British military.
early modern, like 1700s or
Yeah,
1900s.
something like that. Yeah, we're talking about
Okay.
British. The British would be
Oh, yeah.
18th century, early 18th century,
Well, what years though? For real though, for like what years?
early 18th century.
Yeah, but like just in years for the dumb Americans like myself, honestly.
Well, the 18th century is the 1700s onwards.
Is that Cromwell or post
Okay.
Cromwell?
Cromwell was 17th.
Okay.
Cromwell was 17th because he was 1600s.
So 1700s is a big thing of yours, and so is 1800s.
Well, yeah, I mean, all
Well, the
incorporated.
17s would be like the
What do you
1760s.
What do you find most interesting about the subject of like say like what do you call it like kind of like archaeology or like hidden history? Do you have any things on that, or do you just
Well, archaeology brings up a lot of archaeology brings up a lot of possibilities. It shows us how people lived at the time, and it also can change history too, and how we think people lived at that time.
What is hidden history?
Hidden history is history that hasn't been discovered yet. I mean, if you look at Stonehenge is thousands of years old, and yet they still don't know what it was used for. That gives a prime example of a hidden history. The pyramids, hidden history again.
Oh, like there's a story that we just
Yeah.
don't know it. But it's not like somebody's deliberately trying to hide parts of history.
No, it's because we haven't discovered it yet. There's the battle. You've heard of the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, yeah? If you hear buzzing, that's my laptop. So sorry,
Oh,
my
okay,
fan's
yep.
going. Yeah, my fan's going on my thing.
Did we lose? We lost our boy.
They came
Okay,
over
he
and
said it was
established power. What in 1720 was when they really in America.
Yeah, so
I just
this is how archaeology changes history. So there was a battle in Europe called the Battle of Waterloo. It ended Napoleon and his reign through Europe.
ABBA wrote a song about it.
Yeah. And there's also a train station about it too now.
Right, and a record store.
Yeah. But they thought this happened there, and they thought this regiment was somewhere in another field. And but they found a soldier wearing this regiment's colours at another point at the other point of battle. So it changes their perspective of using archaeology. It changes their perspective of what happened there and where regiments were.
Oh.
Kane's been one of my mods for years. So, I don't know if you know her or not.
Oh no, they is it a
Yeah, I know Kane. I love Kane.
Hi Kane. Yeah, they've been stopping by for a few weeks.
I was like, are you gonna porn bomb me? I'm like, no, I know too many people in these streets. I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, but like Daniel says, Stonehenge was used for ceremonial and sacrifice rites. But again, that is only. It's probably the right guess, but it is a guess because there's nothing.
I thought it was like astrological. Isn't it lined up?
People have said it's astrological. People have also said it's a cemetery marking. So there's lots of possibilities.
There's a Stonehenge in America, and it's almost like identical. And like they drew a straight line all the way across, and it went like straight to a Denmark or something. Like look it up. I don't know. There's an actual Stonehenge in America. pretty
Yeah, there's
interesting.
actually a
Man. Like,
henge there in America.
it's like
America's
it's
Stonehenge, a
shaped a
privately
certain way,
owned
and it's
forest
certain.
at Salem,
It's
New
pretty
Hampshire.
fucking cool, man. I did a little bit of that a long time ago. Sorry about my language.
Oh,
Nice.
You're like
You
one of
got
the
the
most polite people here.
Yeah, you got the replica of Stonehenge in Virginia. You got the Mary Museum in Stonehenge. I'm just trying to find out.
What's that one kind of stupid show that was on the History Channel where they were trying to find all that stuff on that island?
Oh, I don't know about that one. There was
What is
Was
the
one.
it
name of
about
that?
What's
they
up?
were trying to find the gold or something on the island?
Yeah, they're trying. Yeah, anything really, like artifacts and stuff too. Though that.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're on about.
Welcome
Yeah,
back, Lance.
there are stones like that all over. Since like oh, they
But-
do. It tells,
Welcome.
it's like our astrology.
Artifact, facts.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to think of.
There's but Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Stonehenge is not the oldest henge in Britain. It's the most famous one. If you want to go to the old henges, go to the north of Scotland.
Man.
The Library of Alexander. What about that? That was like 80% of the world's knowledge was in the library, and it burnt down.
Daniel, how do you know? How do we know why the Romans wiped out the Druids?
The Romans wiped the Druids out so they couldn't spread their.
Yeah. Oh wait, he said it. Whoa, I didn't even see the end of that. Yeah, but I was just researching that last night.
Oh, I thought that's why you said it.
I just saw it. Like over 70 to 80% of all the world's knowledge was inside that library, and they burnt it down.
Good thing we have the internet now and the cloud.
I wouldn't say world's knowledge. I'd go their world's knowledge.
As in, yeah. As in like Western, as in like this, like their, yeah.
Rome, as
But
in
still.
like the old Europe's knowledge and some bits of Asia.
Was it Alexander that took pieces out of the Bible? Like
The
Enoch
Bible
and
came
the
later.
But then if you talk about the Bible, you've got to talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls, haven't you?
Yeah.
Wait,
Pretty sure it was Alexander, like Enoch and some other stuff. They changed
Well,
it so it would fit.
The Bible was written in ancient Greek, wasn't it? First.
Hold on.
What was?
The Bible was firstly written in ancient Greek.
Well, they had the Hebrew was, I think, put together around the time of the Babylonian exile.
Yeah,
Some
but
of it might
that's
have been
the
written
Torah,
around the time of
isn't it?
Solomon.
hold on. Let Jeff finish, dude. Slow down. Don't be a conversation
Hey,
acceleration.
Lanza. It's cool.
It is cool, but I just want to hear everyone's thoughts clearly.
Well, I pretty much finished mine on the Hebrew side, and then the Greek
Wait,
part came
Babylonian.
later.
That's like that's even.
The New Testament was AD, and there's no single biblical textual tradition. That the Hebrew has at least two different strains that started to develop around the same time. So there's no centralized textual authority.
Yeah, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew, while the New Testament was written in Greek.
More or less, there was some Aramaic that they think the people spoke Aramaic and Greek, but the people that were doing the writing were mostly reading and writing in Greek.
Sorry.
And it was the Koine, I believe, the common Greek that everybody spoke.
But you've got to look at the influence of Alexander, though, haven't you? What he had in that area.
Well, Alexander himself established the Hellenistic Empire, and then I think the different religions, because they had Gnosticism, Christianity, Judaism. Actually, the Judaism of today, rabbinical Judaism, I think actually started to coalesce
Paganism.
after Christianity. So all of that happened in the matrix of Hellenism. But I think that was after Alexander's actual lifetime.
Because he was heavily influenced the Egyptians.
Well, he was Aristotle's pupil too, so he came
Yeah.
from that Socratic, Platonic,
Well,
Aristotelian
Macedonian.
classical philosophy.
Yeah, he was from Macedonian heritage, wasn't he?
Hmm.
It's like Aramaic. Sorry, I can't think right now. I've been up for 3 days.
Oh, that's okay. We all confused sometimes.
But you got to look at his influence spread through the Middle East and some parts of Asia.
But I don't know that he had a big intellectual influence so much as the philosophers did. And
I
then you
think
had
it's more.
Neoplatonism. That was another philosophical trend developing
Yeah,
around the same time.
Wait, what did you say? I'm sorry. What did you say? What trend? What trend was building? I
Oh,
didn't get the beginning of
Neoplatonism. That was the
Oh,
form that
Neoplatonism.
classical philosophy took for a lot of people in that time period.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Plotinus and that group.
Alexander had a good power influence over these places, putting people into places of power. Because Daniel Price was right there when he said Ptolemy was the pharaoh. They relate. He was a descendant of Alexander's general.
I like what Kane said there. She said it really makes you wonder how much of your history is accurate, because it's all been rewritten, and you never
It's
know.
all a story.
It does. I mean, it's again Chinese whispers. If you play a game Chinese whispers and the emphasis of the thing would be correct, but it'd be worded differently.
Can white people play that? Chinese whispers.
Yeah. Well, that's what they called it, isn't it?
Is that the telephone game?
Yeah, you just go up, just say to the whisper person, said there's been a car crash, and you got 12 people, and it goes down the line, and the story changes.
Yeah.
Bits
Yeah,
get added and bits get taken off. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, I gotta run, but I appreciate you, Jeff, for letting me up. And sorry, it's just kind of added. I was enjoying the conversation.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, anytime. Enjoyed it. So
yeah, you guys stay blessed, and I'll spread the word a little bit to some people.
Oh wow, I sure appreciate it. Wow, thanks a lot.
Yep.
And drop by anytime. We're usually here every day.
Nice chatting to you, mate.
Well, Lanza, did you get all your questions answered? It sounds like there's a bug zapper.
Yeah, no, it's
zapped.
The thing is, it's my actual graphics card. The bearings have gone in the fan, and I haven't got the money to replace it. It's going to cost me like an extra £900 to replace my actual laptop.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same
Why
boat.
so much? Why so much?
Because to replace something and to I want to upgrade it. I don't want to degrade. Yeah. This one is a good laptop. It was a gaming laptop. It's VR ready. It's got a good graphics card when it works properly. And you don't buy a car then go, I'll buy this other car. You buy a car, and if that one goes, you upgrade it to the next one, don't you? Hold on. Turn it off.
Yeah, I would. I mean, unless this one also cuts your grass at the same time. I would say that somewhere between, in my estimation, the 17 or the 1800, because like photography, the first photography that ever came out was before the 1800s. Okay. And so some of those, Jeff, if you like fucking old photos, bro, I could recommend a couple channels, bro. They show some of the oldest photos of like places on Earth.
Is that the one where they had the bird on the stick and the camera guy would go underneath this cloth?
No.
Or was it even earlier than that? Yeah, let me see. Earliest photos.
Oh, it's just of areas, just of all areas. Like,
Oh
it
my
had the
God,
early
this lady looks
photos.
ancient. She is scary. They need to make a horror movie out of her. Why is this not a franchise? Look at that.
That's not even real, bro. That's a guy. That's a
Oh, it's not. It came up in the oldest photo
real.
search. Well, no,
All right.
because they have her. She's
I'm gonna
real.
tell you
They
I'm
have
gonna
her
show you-
again.
All right.
Look, she was getting around.
I
Is that
was
the
thinking
same
about
lady?
this. I was thinking about. I was like, man, like, you know, I do offer advice and I do try to do it like, for the benefit of whoever, you know, to learn. But
I think you
I
do.
realized a lot of them just don't care, or like don't
That
want
is
to
also true.
or something. I don't know.
All you can do is make the attempt, but I think you make a fair attempt and a fine attempt. I learned a lot. I'm learning stuff today.
Go if you want to, like, you didn't get the idea of what I was explaining there, though. The oldest photos, like,
Well, you said you had some websites, but I tried to
well, it's a channel, so I didn't really want to say it, but I mean, it's not. I
Oh,
don't
is
think
it?
it's like a bad.
Is
I
it
think
something? And now I'm even more curious. What is this? It's like a single website.
it's just a YouTube channel that uploads the oldest
Oh,
photos, but of areas like of Egypt, of I don't know, whoever took some of the oldest photos, like, as you know, 1850s, a lot of them, like, but like actual photography came out like prior to the 1800s.
you could put in the back if you want, or just type the name in the back,
Here,
and I could look it up.
I'll type it. It's
Oh,
called.
yeah, and Hammer or Hebrew, let us know if you get your channel back or start a new one. Let us know, and I can promote it.
I did find this, if you're interested, if I put it at the back thing. This is some of the history of photos.
Okay. All right, I'll take a look, Lanza.
Hello? Did someone just say hello?
No.
Nope, never heard of this person, but I will certainly. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is interesting.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
just he's just frozen or something. But
Okay.
all right, man. I might get out of here, but check out that one, dude, and you'll see some photos and some shit.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot, and we'll see you again. Have a good day.
You look after yourself. It shows you the first ever passport photo too. 1912 US passport.
That late? Let's see, 19.
Yeah.
Am I still here? It won't let me leave.
Oh, do you need me to kick you?
Just press the leave stream. I'll just press leave studio. It'll leave.
I did like 3 times.
Oh damn! There you go.
All right. Well, let's see. What was I looking up? The first passport.
Yeah, first US passport picture, 1912, 13th of May.
Where were they going? Or were they coming in? Passport applications.
If you click on that thing I put on backstage, it shows you there. I put a link on it.
Oh. Oh, okay. First photo. Damn, he's not bad looking either. Look at this. That's a nice photo. That's the first. What year? 18.
What's that one?
Oh,
the first picture. Yeah,
1839. The first photo of a person was 1839. but the passport photo.
If you go and scroll all the way down,
earliest born person, earliest born woman, passport photo. Oh, it was a couple.
no, it was a guy called Arthur Coyne. Arthur
who's this lady?
Coyne Hannifin.
Oh, and his wife Caroline. Oh, this photo right here. Okay, it's hard to see. Let me see if I can blow it up.
Yeah, that one there.
Wow, this stuff fascinates me. What year was this? This is fancy for
18. That's
1912.
1912. Yeah.
This looks very modern. Wow.
Very official, isn't it?
Yeah. This is fancy for 1912. We were very advanced.
Yeah. And also the Victorians, especially in Victorian Britain, loved taking pictures of the dead. And they would prop up the dead bodies in a living position and take a photo of them.
They have a show about that. It's like a detective or a mystery, and he goes around and he photographs the dead, for the funeral photos for the family, and somehow he picks up clues to crimes in the process or something.
Well, that's the thing that you used to do in Victorian times. They'd put them in a picture of and they'll sit with them.
Yeah,
like it's a living picture.
It's like a whole tableau, and they come in and they stage the family around it to get the shot.
Hold on, I'm going to mute till this buzzing stops.
Okay.
I
can. Yeah, that's why I'm on the headphone, because I had the same problem with mine. I had to get off of the big microphone. We could wrap up too if you want. They're doing stuff in the Discord later.
No. I've got some things to say. If you're into thing near where I am, there's a Victorian cemetery, and usually cemeteries are built around towns and villages. But this cemetery, the village was built around a cemetery.
So it's in the middle.
Yeah, well, sort of. What happened was, back in the Industrial Revolution, people were moving to London because that's where the work was. Mm-hmm. So the London populace was getting larger, and of course, with population growing, there's also got to be death. So graveyards were getting fuller. So the London Necropolitis Company thought, we need to solve this situation. What do we do? And they used the railway. And there was a small place called Brookwood. And they thought they would take the dead from London and bury them in this place in Brookwood. So they built 2 train stations going into the actual cemetery area. So they transport the dead by rail. And they'll go by classes, first class, second class, and third class. And by 1847, this cemetery was the biggest in the world. It was bigger than New York.
The cemetery itself was bigger than the city of New York?
No, bigger than the cemetery in New York, the main cemetery in New York. It was the biggest cemetery in the world. There's a road going through it too right now.
What's it called?
It's called Brookwood Cemetery.
Is it in Surrey?
Yeah.
All right, let me see.
There's also a military bit too. There's a massive military side to it too.
It's quaint.
Definitely. There's a Greek there's an Orthodox monastery there too, which holds the bones of an old English king. I can't remember which king it is. Oh. But if you want something really cool, type in Brookwood American Cemetery, US Cemetery. and you'll see Brookwood. You'll see the U.S. Naval Cemetery there. They've got there.
Oh, this is in the UK, but it's for US.
That's
So
the same. Great. That's the same
that's
cemetery.
just. Oh wow. Neat.
And if you go into there, I mean, I done a short, so I could give you the link to a short one day, and it shows you what's inside there, and it's the you walk in, you've got the American coat of arms on the floor, all done in bronze, and you look up and every single writing's in like it's marbled and it's got gold leaf and it's got names of the U.S. Coast Guard and U.S. Navy
Oh.
there. And it's got it's always flying the US flag, and the ground is like the grass is like emerald green. It's beautiful to go into. It's peaceful. It's quiet. It's a good place for thinking, and it leads on to the other cemetery, the other parts of this military cemetery, which involves Canadian, British, Australian, New Zealand, South African, French, Belgium, Polish.
Wow. They all have their own little section.
Yeah, Swedish, Czechoslovakian. There's even German POWs buried there. Also.
Well, yeah, no, I didn't know about. I'm learning all kind of shit today.
It's really, like I say, sometimes me and my mate go there and it's peaceful and it's good for thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And good to have a chat because you can walk around the grounds and it brings what's it bring? You know, when you think of a word and you can't say it, it's on the tip of your tongue.
Aphasia.
Yeah, it makes you realise what people have given up for you, because they've got all monuments in there, and you look and you see all these names, and these are people buried. These are people who they didn't find, who haven't got a grave. And they can't be remembered, so they're just put onto a bronze plaque, and there's thousands of these names there. You know.
Yeah.
And it shows you what people have given up for what we've got today. And some of the architecture around there is beautiful. Like I said, you go to the US mausoleum there. They've got that one there. They've also got an RAF one, and that's got the big Royal Air Force eagle on it too. You go to the Polish side, and it's got the big symbol of the Polish things, and Czechoslovakian and stuff. It's peaceful, it's tranquil, and it brings you back to earth.
Yeah. Cemeteries have always been peaceful. For me, we used to go hang out in them as kids.
Yeah, but this one in Brookwood is got a. They used to do witchcraft there.
In the cemetery?
Yes.
That's so cool.
There's been reports of
I probably would have been hanging out with them.
My dad was in the army at that time. That's the thing. That's when my dad was based there. And my mum and dad used to say they used to see these are grown soldiers. Some of these have been served in Northern Ireland and served with the British military. And these guys would come running out of the cemetery because they reportedly see women crying over people's graves. But this is at night time. It's got a place of haunting. There's reputedly, I don't believe it. There's the ghost train that goes through there too.
Cool. I want to write
it. There's also there's also a cemetery. There's Turkish royalty buried there. Dodi Al-Fayed was buried there for a time, so they moved him Dodi Al-Fayed.
Oh, in this military cemetery?
No, because there's two parts. There's the civilian side and the military side.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you go into the military side's gated off, but you can go walk through it. And you know instantly you're on the military side there. You just different presence.
Hmm.
But Dodi Fida was buried there. There's also several other famous people buried there. If God, what was his name? Have you heard of Dr. Knox?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so if you heard of Birkenhead, the body snatchers.
No.
Okay,
No.
so Birkenhead were famous people in Edinburgh for digging up bodies and delivering them to this doctor to use as thing. And what they'd done was they actually started killing people. He thought they were just collecting dead bodies, and it turned out no, they started off collecting dead bodies, then they actually killed people to get money. But Dr. Knox was the doctor they sold him to, and he's buried at this cemetery.
Did he know they were killing the people?
No, he didn't. No,
He thought they were just digging them up.
no. Yeah, they thought he would either. You got to remember in the This is in the Victorian times. In Victorian times, there's a lot of death because of the poverty situation. And in Edinburgh was known as Old Greeky because it used to stink. And like I said, a lot of poor, where there's poor, there's going to be death.
It seemed like all the cities used to stink back then.
They did. I mean, you got Newcastle. Newcastle used to be a place where they used to collect urine and human urine and all that, make ammonia.
From human urine?
Yeah.
Is that how they do it today? Hopefully not.
I think they probably use more animal urine.
Okay.
But yeah, you got to remember places like that. They didn't have the sewers. Well, they did have the sewer system. The capability is there, but they changed it after the Romans, and cities started to grow massively, and they had open face sewers, and toilets weren't indoor toilets weren't a thing, and they used to have they used to go into a bucket in Edinburgh, and when the bucket got too much, they'd throw the bucket out the window. They throw the contents of the bucket out the window.
They would reuse the bucket like they wouldn't after each use sanitize the bucket.
It would get filled. They would fill it up. And they would chuck out the window, and they used to shout a thing called Gardez-Lou.
Gardez-Lou?
Yeah, to make sure if there's people walking underneath, know that they're throwing the contents of the bucket out.
Stop. Just I feel like a very spoiled Westerner right now. Oh, there's no way. I watch some of those shows like Colonial House and that where they try to do the historical reenactments, and I have a lot of respect for our ancestors. I couldn't do it. I don't know if y'all would have a world or a country if it was relied on me. Do you know about this green fog that kills people?
They're talking about smog, pollution.
Oh.
You still get it nowadays. It was a smog.
Yeah, we have that in America.
Yeah, it was a heavy smog caused by the factories all around London, because it was a highly populated area. Factories belching out smoke mixed with the thing would cover a really thick pea super.
Some people take that as a sign of how awful and depraved and wretched humans are as a species. And why do we have to live in a world where that's what we do?
Well, that's how we progress. That's what we had. That happened with the Industrial Revolution, with factories building up. They said the River Thames. They had to change the sewage system in the River Thames in the Victorian times because there was human effluents, there was animal effluents, dead animals, and even human bodies going down the river. So they had to change the whole sewer system, because London was absolutely stinking in the Victorian times.
It's afternoon here, and I don't know if I'm gonna eat now. If I'm gonna get lunch today.
But this is history. This is how we learn to grow. You know,
It makes me wonder what what we're doing now in 2024 that's going to be gross when people look back a few hundred years on this time period? What are we doing now that's gross that we're not
Well,
realizing?
if you follow like movies, you got Demolition Man, the three seashells, when they ask for toilet paper.
Wait, what?
Have you seen Demolition Man?
I don't remember the toilet paper part.
The Demolition Man, he goes up and he goes to him, I need to go to the toilet. And he went, yes. He said, there's no toilet paper. And he goes, he doesn't know the three seashells. And he goes into the box and he starts swearing. And they give him all these fines and he takes the paper and uses it as toilet paper.
This is a real thing or just like
No, this is just movies. It's just movies.
Because I heard about people tell me about India, like they don't have toilets. It's just little holes in the ground you have to aim for.
Yeah, there's but yeah, that's in rural. There's toilets in India, but that's in more rural settings.
Oh.
And things, and also in France, there's holes in where you can go and pee in France, in Paris.
Yeah, I think these were holes for every occasion.
But there's people saying, why do we need to use fresh water to get rid of our waste too?
Well, isn't there like things like gray water or stuff that people can use where it doesn't have to be completely fresh? But
you can.
Are we that in danger of water that we have to start worrying about what we flush with?
Well, some parts. If you look at the US is such a vast country. How many parts of the US do you have to say if it's yellow, yes, it's mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
Hopefully none. I know in the Southwest, like Lake Mead, there's the big water shortage, and there's 4 states that draw on that water supply.
And haven't they got a water shortage in Las Vegas? So
yeah,
was the reservoirs going down?
And that town uses, like, for a desert town, it uses more water than most cities probably use. And all those casinos have fountains and water features, and everybody has pools and fountains in their yard and watering systems. In fact, when I lived in Vegas, they had us on water restrictions, and you could only water your lawn certain times of the day, and if they caught you outside of that, you could get a ticket. And you had to use like a watering system. You couldn't sprinkle or spray. It had to be like a drip system.
Okay. So I'm lucky because we stay in Britain, stay in England. We do have water restrictions in the south. We do. There's sometimes if it's hot, like a really hot summer.
Oh, even in England?
Yeah. And there's a if really hot summer and the water goes low, they'll put water restrictions down. That's only for the summer, then they'll put them back up. But if you go to the north of England and go to Scotland, there's no issue up there.
Yeah.
You know, you got Loch Ness holds more water than any of all the lakes that are in Britain.
Wow.
Put together.
I guess we might as well get this out of the way right now. Is the monster? Have you seen it? Is it there? I don't think it is.
Well, I've seen a few monsters in Glasgow, but it wasn't a Loch Ness monster.
Was it in the lake? Was it in
the lake? Yeah. And some of the women do scare me.
I think we have some of those here too. Nessie.
Yeah, definitely. But is there a monster there? Very doubtful. Very, very doubtful. It was probably made up, some drunk and made up, and somebody stuck it there and has made entire tourist industry, which is pretty cool for Scotland.
Pretty based.
Yeah. Just somebody coming out the local pub and seeing a branch.
Scotland really works that capitalism, huh? They fake lake monsters and they kill people for bodies.
Well, you got to remember, Adam Smith is from Scotland.
Oh. For those that want to make the case against capitalism, quit wasting your time on Antifa and boycotts and that kind of stuff. Go look at Scotland.
Yeah. Look at it's Scotland's home to many inventions, from the telephone to the TV.
To the talking heads.
To the talking heads, to drunkenness.
Oh, y'all gave us drunkenness?
Well, yeah, I mean, drink
No,
a
because the
bottle of
Greeks
whiskey.
had what? They had a whole god of wine.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. Drink a bottle of
Maybe
whiskey. And,
modern drunkenness.
yeah, just drink a bottle of whiskey and say that afterwards.
That's true. I went to a Scotch tasting in Seattle once, and they had all these whiskeys from Scotland. They were telling us how they make them in the peat moss and the
Yeah, they filter it
burn
through.
barrels and stuff. It was fascinating.
They also use sherry barrels.
That sounds good.
So they put the whiskey in for thing in the sherry barrel, say, so you get the smokiness of the sherry ingrained into the whiskey, as long as and the wood too. They use different types of woods.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It was like the wood they use and the moss in the process actually determines the different flavors. I didn't know Scotch had so many flavors, but it's just like wine. There's so many different subtleties to Scotch and how you make it.
Yeah, and also it depends which type of whiskey do you like. Do you like Lowland whiskey? Do you like Highland whiskey? Do you like Island whiskey? There's even Welsh whiskey now, and there's English whiskey with Irish too.
Wow.
There's all different types.
Sounds like a party.
Oh, it certainly does. I went into one distillery and they were selling this. How much for this bottle? I think it was about £250,000 for this one bottle.
Wait, how much? Wait, 200.
I think it was £250,000.
Like six figures?
Yeah.
Wait.
Mind you, it was the first bottle of the distillery that was legal because whiskey wasn't legalized. Sean, it's my laptop.
That's his raccoon.
Yeah, that's my raccoon. I've got a pet raccoon in my laptop.
Yeah, it's his laptop fan.
Yeah. But yeah, first bottle of the press. But I said to this guy I was with, I said, imagine you got a teenage son, he holds a party and he drinks that bottle of whiskey. What do you do to him?
Well, military school for starts. I guess we take it from there. And he's going to have to work it off, pay it back. And he's not getting a car or any of the other stuff.
No, we don't have that type of military school over here, so I think prison would be more my liking.
I guess I'm a little more compassionate, humane for a Satanist.
Yeah. No, not for whiskey. No, not for doing that.
But yeah, he definitely would have to pay it back. So what his first however many years of salary is coming to be first.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he's getting nothing from Dad until it's paid off. That's for sure.
Mind you, what would it taste like?
I don't know. Usually the stuff that rich people are willing to pay the most for is the stuff I find the most nasty.
Yeah.
Like at restaurants, the food that costs the most is nothing I would ever want to eat.
And also, it's a big rip-off. Look at Salt Bay. I was like a chef for 17 years, and you don't end up spending like £600 on a steak.
Yeah.
And also, you don't.
There was a reality show, like a spoof reality show back in the 2000s, where this guy pretended to be this fancy billionaire. It was kind of a spoof of The Apprentice, and the contestants thought they were competing for a job at this prestigious company. And for the opening, they pretended to have this reception with fancy champagne and hors d'oeuvres that rich people eat. And it was actually like Cheese Whiz from the 7-Eleven and Spam and that kind of stuff that they were turning to hors d'oeuvres. And they bought all of it. These contestants honestly thought they were feeding on the finest appetizers that only the wealthy eat. And it was so pretentious. And like all of America was laughing at them.
I'll tell you what is pretentious. Like I said, Salt Bay. How much would you spend for a can of Red Bull? If you did drink Red Bull.
Red Bull?
Red Bull, yeah.
Like the drink, the energy
drink?
Yep,
the energy drink.
I personally would spend $0 on it because I don't even drink the stuff.
Okay, but if you did drink it, how much would you pay for it in a restaurant if you were going to order it? Like at a bar, like for a drink or something?
Yeah. Depending on how fancy it was, if they billed me $20 for it at the highest end places, I'd say, oh, yeah, all right, 20 for a Red Bull.
I've got to see.
Probably not much more than that.
I mean, how much did he charge for this Red Bull in? Okay, I've got to find this.
I mean, I don't need it. I could hold off until I get to a convenience store. I can't think of a situation where I would be that desperate for a Red Bull.
Right. You got to see this bill. So I'm going to put it in backstage, and you can see it from there.
All right.
This is from like I said, the Salt Bay restaurant. Yeah.
And this is their standard price, like anybody.
Yeah.
What they could expect to pay.
Yep. So have a look at that.
Let me blow it up. It's hard to find a copy I could blow up.
Okay, let me do it properly then. Let me get it for you there. Okay, hold on. Right, this is in the Daily Mail. Let's do this properly, yeah? So that's my fault. I'll put another link
I think I might have found a copy.
Yeah, put a link. There you go. There's another link. That'd be better.
All right, let's look at this. Because you're going to have to translate the pounds for me.
Yeah, okay. So to add the pounds, add another 30 to 40 pounds onto it. That'd be US dollars.
Okay, so his beef carpaccio was like $300.
310
$1,000
yeah, 300
for a filet mignon, fruit platter, $500 for a fruit platter.
Yeah.
Where is the Red Bull?
Look how much you charge for water. For 5 still waters.
What? What's a still water? What is that?
Just
a brand?
normal water normal bottle of water.
Like from the water pitcher?
just from a bottle of water.
Oh, a bottle. Okay. The coffee's cheap, $25 for coffee or pounds for coffee. I don't see the bull. Where
that's another one. This is another one there. This gives
an
example how much you charge.
Oh, no,
yeah.
Okay, hang on then. I gotta find this. Let me find one with the Red
But look how much he charged for two steaks. No, for 2 steaks. You're talking about just under $5,000 for 2 steaks. And look at the total bill price.
Like almost 400,000 pounds. So wait, is it like $500,000 for one meal?
No, they charge for a total meal just over $40,000.
40,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I'm looking. This says 398,630. That looks like 6 figures.
Yeah, so it tells you at the bottom. We don't add our tax. Our tax is all added in.
And the tip was $90,000.
Yeah. So so.
The drinks alone were almost 300 pounds.
Yeah.
300,000 pounds.
No. You're reading it wrong.
All right, let's look at it.
Okay, so the total bill with the VAT. So two bottles of this drink was £20,000.
It says alcoholic beverages 291,110.
Yeah. Yeah, so
the
that's
total is 398,630.
Yeah, but that's £39,000 was the total. That's the total.
Not 398.
No,
39,630.
Yeah, £39,000.
So the comma goes after the 9, but then what's the 8630?
That's just how we write it here. That's how we write it here.
What?
Yeah.
All right, I gotta.
Oh, the comma is supposed to go with the 39. After the 39, that's the comma is the 39,000.
Because then you have 8630.
Yeah, but that's 800. That's the £800.
800.
So like £39,800.
39,863
So
zero.
yep, in the US that would be like over £40,000, $40,000.
Okay, that's a little better than $500,000. Yeah, that's a little more tolerable. Actually, I feel less
Yeah, it's not like
agitated about it. Not that any of
100,000.
it's my business if that's what people want to do with their money. They have like the high roller rooms at Vegas and the casinos. They have like $1,000,000 poker chips. People come and bet stacks of $1,000,000 in just one hand, one round.
Yeah, but that's different. I mean, that's gambling, but this is how we do it. This is how we write the bill. Well, that's really it should go. So really, it should be like
I don't
39.
ever plan to leave the U.S. partly for reasons like this. So this frees up that brain space.
That's a good idea. But
I
what do
couldn't
you
even
reckon?
do metrics. Like I couldn't even make my way with the metric system, and I've had it my whole life. They taught it to us in school. It didn't stick in my brain.
But would you I mean they charged for a pint of beer or a bottle of beer 75 pounds?
So that's like $100.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't pay it, but I could see environments where it would be the norm to pay
it
that.
is the same beer. We can buy a pint of beer for £6 in a pub.
That's what I would do. I'll just wait and go. I would either drink before I go or pick one up on the way home.
But that's the amount of bill. That's how much
Or I
you
let the
charge.
guy pay.
What the rich people, idiots, pay for a meal in his place. You can get the same type of service and same type of meal for like 200 or 300
So is it
pounds.
just status, like the privilege
Yeah,
of dining
it's just
with
the privilege of
other
dining there.
people in your bracket?
Yeah, David Beckham and all that have dined there. You know, if you got the money, flaunt it, and if you got the money, somebody's going to take it off of you.
I guess that's a form of hedonism, indulging in luxury and pleasure and privilege, status, like embracing your status. You
Exactly.
get some kind of psychological pleasure from that.
Yeah, I mean that's what they've done. I mean, it's the old Roman thing. Eat if they went to a Roman party, they would eat until they were full, then they would
Right.
make themselves sick, then carry some more.
That human culture is so diverse.
Weird and diverse, yeah.
Yeah. Even because they even call us weird, the Western WEIRD acronym.
Mhm.
As Westerners, we think we're so normal, but to the rest of the world, we're pretty weird people.
Oh, definitely. We got to remember people from different cultures see different things. In India, before Britain colonized India, it was normal if a woman's husband passed away, the woman would be sacrificed with her husband.
What? And that
With
was
the
just
wife.
like no big deal to them.
That's no big deal. But Britain went, no, we're not having this. The woman should live.
Yeah.
But that's normality to them at that time. You know, and also different customs too. It's just different. Everything's got their own little eccentricities and stuff like that, and where we see it, and we think our laws are better than anybody else's. Well, you know, in some parts they are, but some parts they're not. And we have to learn to accept this.
Yeah. I think so. I guess so.
And we can't keep on going telling countries it's like US prides itself on freedom and freedom of speech and freedom of this, freedom of religion, freedom of that. You can't go into another country and say we want you to have the American way, because that won't work for them.
I know. Do we still try to do that?
Well,
Have
we tried to
figured that
do
out
that
yet?
in we don't try to do that in Iraq, didn't we? That's the most prime example. Remember George Bush going we're doing this so they can have this and this
And
and
even
this.
then, I remember there were a lot of people that were skeptical and
Yeah.
didn't think that was the right move.
And it turned out it was not the right move because it created ISIS. We have to face the consequences of our actions.
Yeah, but they had reasons to hate us even before that. It's not like we were best
Yeah, I
friends.
mean, I think it all started from the US. Them hating the US is the Suez Crisis.
I thought it was that what is it, Operation Mockingbird?
No, the Suez Crisis was in the 1950s, and Britain, Israel, and France tried to fight the Egyptians for control of the
The
Suez
Suez.
Canal.
Yeah. Is
America's
that
side,
part? Because part of it is like Iran had some elections and we didn't like their guy, so we overthrew
yeah. I
him.
mean, this is how. I mean, basically, this is how it all started. US didn't want that, but they sided with Egypt. The reason why they sided with Egypt is they hoping American influence, political influence, could spread. It was Eisenhower could spread through Egypt, and they would be more pro-American if they stopped the war.
Which makes sense at the time, I
It makes
guess.
sense at the time. But what happened was Eisenhower forgot the communist threat, and when he stopped the war, the Suez Crisis happening, the Egyptians sided with the Soviet Union. People seen as US as interfering in your Middle Eastern politics,
Well,
and
that's what it was. We were interfering,
but you,
or,
but
or
yeah,
influencing. We were attempting to
influencing.
influence.
But that's how it all. That's how it started. I mean, Eisenhower used to say, "I've made one mistake," and that was not supporting. Being Britain has been traditional allies with the US since World War One, so not supporting our allies, and with France too. France was the original ally of the US ever since the American Revolution.
Yeah.
So
Was
they never.
that? Are we still living with the effects of that mistake today?
Yeah, that's the whole Middle Eastern effects, and also with the creation of what we now known as Israel, too.
Well, I thought that happened before the 50s.
Israel was 1948, so it's all roughly the same time.
So that was all part of this Suez
Yep, the creation of
geopolitical.
Israel. Yep, creation of Israel led to several to the it led to the invasion of several wars in Israel.
Yeah.
It led to that also with the Suez Crisis,
Got
because you
attacked.
got to remember, yeah, Israel got attacked by Egypt, 3 different countries.
7 countries one time.
Mm.
And one of them, they had several wars of independence.
Yep,
They were
you had
attacked several times.
you got the Yom Kippur War where they actually got held out. That was the big one, but all of that, and also American CIA funding the Mujahideen to fight the Soviet Union in Afghan, which Mujahideen suddenly became the Taliban.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
Yep. So Western influence has heavily politicized the Middle East. Now
Do you
it's
think
turned.
Trump is going to be more hands off, like better at restraining influence?
I'm not a fan of Trump.
He just seems like the type that if it doesn't involve him personally, he's willing to leave it alone. And if it's not about him,
He makes the mean when he was first president, it was all about his family. He took his family got in all high powered jobs, didn't they?
yeah.
That shouldn't happen if you're a president.
Well, it does.
I know it does, but it shouldn't though.
I'm more like real politic.
He did not help when he made matters worse with the Washington riots.
What are those?
You know, you had the oh god, well, you had them storming your buildings.
January
Right.
6th?
Yeah.
Oh, you call it
Is it
the Washington riots? Is that what they call it in Britain?
Well, I'm just saying that what I call it.
Oh,
It was riots, though, wasn't it?
who knows? It was something. Nobody knows what it was because there's no authoritative way to determine that.
I think that is the quote. I think that's the apt name from the Washington riots. I think we could call that because it was a riot. They stormed
Well,
government buildings.
it was multi. There were many things going on. It wasn't a single event and
Right.
with a single set of actors. So it was many things. So you could point to parts of it and call individual parts of it many different things. But there's no way to determine definitively, authoritatively,
But
what it actually was. There's no
did he?
one body with the authority to do that right now.
Did
The trial process might have yielded something in the way of a ruling.
But did he help during this? Did he hinder it, or did he make it
That's
worse?
what these trials. That's what I was waiting on these trials to help determine.
And
Because the
also-
indictment ties him to this conspiracy with the slate of electors. But what I'm not clear is how much that conspiracy is tied in to the events of January 6th and exactly where. Because there was a lot of chaos. So how much of that chaos was tied directly to Trump and this conspiracy?
And
I don't
did
know. I was
Trump
hoping the
take-
trial would reveal some of that.
And did Trump take advantage of how fragile the U.S. voting system is?
I personally don't think it's that fragile. I think Trump is delusional. I think he lost the election fair and square. Every person that looked at it determined that. And I think Trump persisted in the belief that it was rigged somehow and not fair, and that he had actually won. But I think that was Trump's delusion. I think our system is pretty secure.
I think Trump is a power-hungry guy.
He's a narcissist.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, he's totally will to power and overcompensation, compensatory narcissism.
And he goes on saying, "Oh, he made peace with North Korea." Well, there's always been a peace with North Korea. It's a fragile peace, but there's always been there. Putin, you've gone, friends with Putin. The whole Western world was friends with Putin before the invasion of Ukraine. We all seen what Putin it was, and now we've entered a new Cold War. We're children.
Yeah, I think we are in a Cold War with several powers.
We are children of the Cold War era, are we not? Both me and you. We knew what the original Cold War was.
Yeah,
we've known what the threats. We've had leaflets being posted for the doors and how to build your own nuclear fallout shelter and what to do.
We used to do the drills.
Yep. We've seen the propaganda movies of the 80s with Commando, Top Gun, Rambo, and things like that. We've had all this. We know what this is about. We've seen. We could tell you there's never really been a really peace with Russia. There's always got to be a conflict with Russia somewhere, because that's the way our systems work. I think they're different. We lived through Glasnost and Perestroika, the fall of the Berlin Wall.
I remember that.
Yeah, but we knew it was a fragile thing, and one thing could set it off. And if we said we didn't know, then we're lying to ourselves.
One thing could set what off? The Cold War? I mean, turn it from cold to hot?
Well, it's never been a hot war, was it? I mean,
well, they say it's going to be fifth generation warfare anyway. Like the future of war is not traditional war. So if we do get into another war, it may not look like what we expect the war to look like.
No, I'm going to call that one out. No, it's going to be a bloody war if there ever was a Third World War. Bombs, missiles, nuclear. Nobody wants nuclear.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
If you have a nuclear war, it's mutual destruction.
Yeah, I think so.
It will be bloody. It would be horrible. But these people go, no, it'd be all on computer. Absolute bollocks. Absolute bollocks. You need men on the ground, women. You need people on the ground to fight a war.
Or bombs.
No, no, that won't have. No, we've been there, done that. We tried to do that at Kosovo, and we found out we needed men on the ground.
Well, then why do people have bombs if no one's going to use them?
Well, your bombs are all great, but Pete, you can
I mean,
always
they've worked. We've used them before.
yeah, but they haven't worked. They haven't stopped a war. We had this Kosovo. We started bombing the Serbs, and we thought by bombing the Serbs it would help to stop them attacking people. It didn't until we sent troops on
I'm
the
more
ground.
thinking of China, Russia, Iran, one or more of those countries. I'm not thinking of little isolated conflicts here and there.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about the big daddy.
these are all part of it. This is all part of the build-up.
But I'm saying if it escalates, it's just going to be major superpowers bombing the shit out of each other. I don't know how much men on the ground there's going to be a need for after that.
There'll be more than need for men on the ground. There's always got to be men on the ground.
I mean, we're in Mad Max territory at that point.
No, I don't think so.
If we have a world war that involves bombs, you don't think that we're going to be living in a
Depends
completely
what type
different
of bombs
type of
you're talking.
civilization?
You're talking about the bomb or just normal bombs?
Either. Like, I think normal bombs could pull off a civilizational shift.
No, normal bombs won't.
It would
No.
just be like life is normal.
Yeah, you'd rebuild with normal bombs. Nuclear.
But I'm saying if we get into a global conflict, I don't think it's going to stop at traditional warfare. I think it's going to escalate until one side dominates or mutual destruction.
You could be talking about the latter.
I mean, that's always been the assumption in my lifetime that nobody wants nuclear war because it's going to be mutual self-destruction.
Oh, definitely.
But you're saying that's what I'm saying. If the world does end up in another war, I don't know that it's going to be a traditional conflict because that has the potential to escalate to a scenario that nobody wants. But you're saying no, it will be. There will be men fighting
conflict.
Bombs.
We conflict we haven't seen before, but we'll need men and women. We need people on the ground. We can forget all this internet stuff and that. To fully stop a country, you need to raise an army and to put that army into that country. It won't happen through the internet.
Well, I'm not saying only the internet. I'm just saying that warfare has modernized.
Warfare has modernized. But if you look
at the idea that like boats are going to show up on the shores of America and soldiers are going to get off the boats and start marching through the state, I think it's going to look different than that.
But we can see it's not. But look at Ukraine. Ukraine was reverted back to world. I know, but Ukraine. This is a modern war. Ukrainian war. This is how really.
It's a modern war tailored for the reality of Ukraine, but the reality of the U.S. would require a different type of war.
How?
If China and the U.S. fight, or Russia and the U.S., I don't think it's going to be the same as Russia showing up on Ukraine's borders and invading.
Well, they need to get men onto the ship. If they put men on ships, you need men to think, and they need men to hold positions. To hold a position, you must revert back to World War I tactics and building trenches and foxholes and stuff like that, and fortifications.
I think you also need to take into account how warfare may have changed as well.
But
and not get locked into this is how we used to do wars.
Yeah, but saying going to use a war in Ukraine, we can see it hasn't. And if you look at most world wars have started in Europe. All the world wars have started in Europe first.
I'm less interested in how they start. I'm at the point where all the major powers are now involved in a conflict. However it started, I'm at the situation where we are now all in the arena, and we have technology, weapons, strategy that is different from what we had back in World War I. We have new possibilities and potentials that, like the board has opened up in ways that it was not in previous wars.
But again, we still need to keep that hold of that traditional war. We still need to prepare for it too.
Well, I'm not saying not to prepare for it. I'm just saying don't get locked into that. That's the form it's necessarily going to take.
I think it will. A really weird thing. I think it will. especially if anybody tried to invade the US, because you've got so many people in the US have got firearms and stuff, and they'll just they'll just do defensive positions around towns and cities, and they'd create like a backlog of people, the soldiers, equipment. So I think traditional it would be more a traditional war instead of a more electronic and internet war.
I mean, people were even worried, and they still are, that Donald Trump could single-handedly destroy the United States and cause it to come under the control of
Yeah,
some other form of government or some
but
other
Trump, yeah,
power.
Trump is about money too. He's a money man, so he knows if
I'm
destroying
just saying, in
ourselves.
some people's mind, that is a scenario that could end the United States in a non-traditional way outside of a ground war.
Yeah, it's possible. There is. Right, my computer's really playing up now, so I'm
I
gonna
know,
log.
I hear that. I need to wrap up and get some lunch anyway.
Yeah, man. All right, well, nice chatting to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it again.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
you take.
Bex, just who I wanted to see, actually. Is it time? Oh, I guess it is. Just perfect timing. I was wrapping up. I'm going to go get snacks started and meet you all in the Discord.
All right, see you later, mate. Look after
Take
yourself.
care,
You
Paul.
too.
Good
Bye
talking.
bye. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, great show today. Thank you to everybody. Um, Lanza, great. I I love what you bring here. You really stimulate my thinking in interesting ways, and I learn things. And Paul, or discussion, as the channel is known, and HebrewHammer. We met a new person today, and Zat. So thank you all, keeping the community going. I'm gonna go eat and watch Survivor, and probably be back tonight. But if not, you'll see me tomorrow, I'm sure. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good rest of your day, and see you later. Keep being cool. Meow.